HKIR is just about upon us. What a massive week we've got coming up. The IJC at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, and then, of course, the Turf World Championships on Sunday. A very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Angela Jean, joined here in the studio by Paul Lally and our race caller, Brett Davies, as well. Brett will come back, of course, to Sunday's monster programme. We've got the IJC and 9 races at Happy Valley, though, first.
That's right, Andrew. Yeah, 6:30 is start time for this magnificent 9-race card. 4, 5, 7, 8, the 4 International Jockey Championship races, obviously sponsored by Longines. It's going to be a very fierce competition. Very interested to see how Matthew Poon handles the situation. He's had an outstanding first, third or fourth of the season. Vincent Ho obviously there, along with Karis Teeton and defending champion Zach Purton for Hong Kong. But the 8 rivals deserve their spots on Calibre.
Certainly do, yeah. It's great to have some of the world's best jockeys in town, Paul. And if that wasn't enough, we've got some jackpots too.
We have. We've got the triple trio, 1.7, and one we don't usually see that often, which is the first double trio of 1.8 million. So there is a bit of money going into that type of bet type if you haven't tried that one before as well. Look, the races are good. It's interesting with some of these international jockeys coming in because you don't know exactly what's going to happen because they haven't ridden the horses before.
Yeah, often the general consensus is that some of the speed maps may be a little bit on the slower side as opposed to the faster side, with you know, some of the less experienced jockeys here taking on the jockeys that have got the experience. So maybe not so many mid-race moves possibly, but who knows?
Paul got a nice little trophy on his name there. Did we get one as well? I didn't notice.
Did he?
Yeah.
Probably deserved it.
Oh, we did.
We all did. There you go. All right, look back first before we look forward. Big card on the weekend at Shartin, mainly a dirt programme as well as we take in with our racing review. Right, let's have a look at the feature race, which was actually on the turf. I said there were 7 races on the dirt, but it was the Peninsula Golden Jubilee Challenge Cup was our feature. Refined Treasure was back, was well backed as well, but Speedy King lived up to his name.
I have to admit, I sacked him after his prior performance, where he did race on a yielding track and he loomed up, hit the front at the 250 in the start prior to this, and then blew out. Looked like he maybe couldn't handle the going, but back to a shorter trip here, he charged away. I thought Refined Treasure in the end ran a very good race first up, but Speedy King, well done to all the connections there.
Yeah, well back too, 10 into 5.9 as well, so plenty of money for Speedy King. Take nothing away from Refined Treasure, though. I thought it was a great run from him.
Yeah, he did have he's won over 1,000 metres at Happy Valley in the past, but much like you, Brad, I'd written him off down the straight here. But clearly does have the pace, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him back again over the minimum trip. There's a solid performance there, Derek Long in the saddle. As far as the big moves on the weekend with the ratings are concerned, though, we've got a couple of 3 in actual fact, double-figure changes. Big Time Baby, Happy Tour and Perfect Match. Zach Purton on Happy Tour and Perfect Match. Yeah,
for me, the 3 horses that you can take going forward out of the meeting were Happy Tour, Perfect Match and Paul's Big Party as well. He put in a really good performance on the dirt. I know you liked him as well, Andrew, but he got back early and then just sort of charged around them and was able to atone for a bit of a disappointing run first up with a nice win.
Interesting, Holy Unicorn there, and he gets 8 points, so puts him at the bottom of Class 4, so he doesn't get an opportunity to have 4 wins in the group.
The handicap here was kinder than that.
I wouldn't put it past him off a lightweight there either, Holy Unicorn. All right, those are the big winners on the weekend. We'll try and find some more now with our horses to follow. All right, Paul, you're first. This horse went round at a massive price on debut, and you like a big price winner, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think we all do. This horse is called I Do as well, funny enough. That was a good lead in there. And I think you almost...
We know why that trophy was alongside your name now.
Exactly. Very quick. No, look, he was well back. He's by So You Think, this horse, so the further the better. This was over 1,200 metres. You'll see the best one when he gets up to a mile plus, I think. And he came down the outside and hit the line very nicely. So a very nice debut from this horse, originating from Australia. So he looks good.
There was a number of questions I thought about leading Paul into. Yeah, the answer would be I Do, but I went with it.
Yeah, no, you did well. I'm staying out of that sort of stuff. I went with the horse, Andrew, on screen. Le Terroir. I'm a bit of a French fan this season, and there's a few interesting horses going around with French names. 1 or 2 we haven't seen yet. But this guy has only had a few starts. I just like the way he closed off here. He actually ran a faster 800 than Perfect Match did. Now, Perfect Match was super impressive in winning the race. Did use some gas early and then settled well for Zach Burton, charged away. But Le Terroir's last 800 was quicker than the winners there. So he's going to need more time, more racing and more of a trip, but it was an encouraging run from the little terrier.
Certainly was, for me, onto the all-weather. Glorious Spectrum was making his debut, and I think they'll be winning a race. There's a bit of money for him this day as well. So this is Ugly Warriors race, and he was obviously a little bit disappointing, but I think they'll get a return on this horse quite quickly because he finishes off quite strongly, and Responsibly rode him here. Zach Burton had ridden him in all his trials, but solid effort from him. Gunnison was good as well down the outside.
I thought Vinci was good in the last too from the same stable. It was a good run from him first starter.
Yeah, there are a lot of first starters there on show. There'll be quite a few on Sunday as well.
All right,
in the undercard.
There certainly will be. It's a big card on Sunday. Looking forward to that. But we've got Happy Valley first. 9 races on the programme. Win Gold was going to be going round in the second. He's not now. Keep Going. Not without a chance either. Keep Going. Dylan Moe will ride, taking £5 off. So meeting number 26 of the season. 9 races on the B course. 4 legs of the IJC as well. We kick things off with the United States of America Handicap Class 5 over the 1650, headed by Glorian with a visor on for the first time. Miguel Barcelona will ride from barrier 10. Best effort, runner-up last time out behind Chu Chow Kid. Wonderful Tiger, also runner-up last time out behind Dutch Windmill as favourite. Kwai Chung Brothers, 4th last start behind Chu Chow Kid. That was over the 1600. Lucky Storm will probably roll forward from barrier 6. And Gobi Storm is first up for the season. Now, My Blessing and Lucky Storm have been up at Chung Fai, returning on the 19th and the 3rd, respectively, so just a couple of days ago.
It's worth noting that Gobi Storm trialled at the Valley not that long ago and was forward, and then I thought eased out of it in the final stages of that trial. He and My Blessing might be the two with Lucky Storm to roll forward. Pace expected to be good. Glorium's another one that was forward last start. Worth noting, Gobi Storm has had a right front cannon bone problem, the reason he hasn't been to the races for some time.
First of all, look at his Wonderful Tiger. Not the easiest ride around this one. You can see he does pull a bit in the mornings. He's just doing some nice work here. Look, he's going to get his opportunity. He's a horse in form at the moment in this lower grade, and he's got a good draw on Zach Burton aboard. So his work suggests he's going pretty well. I thought I'd show My Blessing. Now, they're going to put the blinkers on him for the first time, and Dylan Moe will take them out. He's likely to go forward in the race, and he works nicely in them. He looked reasonably relaxed as well, and he travels fluently here. And here is Gobi Storm. As you mentioned, he has had those injury problems, but he has changed stables. Comes in at a very light weight here, and the visor will go on him for the first time off a rating of 24.
Yeah, seeing Keith Young ride track work. They had that fall on the weekend. Probably should have mentioned that as well, but he's all right, I think.
Yeah, well, he's not riding at the moment. Some bruising, I think, to his left arm, but overall, good to see him on his feet.
All right, yeah, he walked back to the ambulance, which was great news. All right, let's start off with Wonderful Tiger and jockey Zach Burton. His thoughts on the 4-year-old.
Yeah, he's not an easy horse, as we've seen in his time here in Hong Kong. He's a very quirky horse. I don't think the sedate tempo helped him last time. You know, he really needs him to roll along early so that he can drop his head and just get into his rhythm. And when that happens for him, there's no doubt that he's got the ability to be able to win. But like a lot of horses in Class 5, a lot of horses in Hong Kong, they just need the right circumstances, and he's one of those.
This is your first ride on International Jockeys Championship night. You won the championship last year, even though going in you weren't too keen on your own chances. How do you rate your chances this year?
Yeah, I haven't had a good look through my rides and the rest of the field that I'm up against yet, but on first glance I thought I'd find it hard again. You know, I got 2 horses there that have never run a place before in their lives, so that makes things hard when you look at it right there. So, you know, I'll go out there, see what I can do, and hopefully 1 or 2 of them can run a race for me.
Yeah, we will see in due course. That's Zach's thoughts. We'll get to the IJC races in a minute, but Best Effort and Kwai Chung Brothers need to take a check on their efforts behind Chu Chow Kid last time.
This is a good run from Best Effort. You can see him just sitting and waiting here for a run to appear, and eventually he does get it down nearer the rail and is able to grind through and take second. Kwai Chung Brothers, I've thrown him in the tips a few times this season. I wasn't disappointed with his effort here. Again, you can see he's just grinding away. We know the Chu Chow Kid form has stood up. He went and raced well at his next start at the Valley in a higher grade. Both have got claims. There's not too many in the race I would put the pen through. No,
it's one of those type of races. Best Effort's dropped £8. He's under £1,000 now, this horse. So, interesting to see how he goes. He hasn't got a good record at Happy Valley.
All right, open race the first.
It is. I'm going to go with the form, though. We'll have a Wonderful Tiger on top. My Blessing with the blinkers on. Lucky Storm has been up and back to Chung Fa. I think he's improving. And the Joy of Giving in there for fourth. He's probably the fittest horse in the race, coming back in trip. 5, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, I went with the 5 as well. Wonderful Tiger on top, but there's a few hopes, Class 5. The Joy of Giving was going really well, deserves an excuse on his last start. Gobi Storm to probably pilot them along with My Blessing. 5, 11, 12 and 8. Sorry, 9.
All right, yeah, Wonderful Tiger for me. Give Glorium a chance as well. Wide gate probably wouldn't help him too much, though.